Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh my God. Relax.
What's up?
The idea of Terence Crawford stepping into the ring with David Benavidez has quickly become one of the most talked about topics in boxing circles.
When you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, you know, say, all right, you know, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off.
Crawford recently achieved a career-defining victory over Canelo Alvarez, shocking many by dominating a fighter who has long been considered one of the greatest of this generation. That win didn't just add more hardware to his legacy, it elevated him into the conversation as the greatest of his era. By beating Canelo in Las Vegas on September 13th, Crawford became the first male boxer in history to hold undisputed status in 3 different divisions, having already conquered super lightweight and welterweight before moving all the way up to super middleweight. The unanimous decision victory was a moment that stunned the boxing world and put Crawford in a class of his own.
And then on Thursday and Friday, when I saw Canelo in the vest, I was like, nah. I was like, no, he's gonna pull it off here. And you know, it was an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Yeah, I'm gutted for Canelo, but I'm actually pleased that Crawford is getting the opportunity to show how great he is, because his resume hasn't really allowed that. Don't get me wrong, he's got some good wins, but he could have beaten so many more of the elite guys from his era. And now that was a big win for him. He's 38 years old. And that to do that at that stage was very, very impressive.
Naturally, after such a monumental achievement, speculation about what comes next exploded. Retirement rumors swirled almost immediately, with many believing that Crawford had nothing left to prove. He had made history, earned generational wealth, and left no doubt about his pound-for-pound credentials. Some felt that walking away at this point would be the perfect ending, yet Crawford, while admitting he hasn't fully decided on his long-term direction, has signaled that his career isn't over just yet. His coach, Brian Bomac McIntyre, confirmed that the fighter still plans to lace up the gloves again.
Now people are putting him in the conversation of greatest of all time.
You know that.
You think so?
You know I know.
Okay, what's next for him? You've been training for years. What's next for him? The fans want to know. What's next for him?
Break. Take a
A
break.
break?
Take
Is he
a break.
retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
McIntyre explained that Crawford simply needs time to rest and enjoy life outside of the ring after the chaos of training camps and high-pressure fights. A period with family, holidays, and travel is what he envisions for his fighter. Once Crawford has had a break, the plan is to return to the gym and evaluate what the next steps should be. McIntyre himself made it clear that he loves working with Crawford and would happily prepare him for 2 or 3 more bouts if that is the direction they choose. Still, the elephant in the room remains David Benavidez. The 28-year-old has been circling Canelo Alvarez for years, calling for a showdown that never materialized. Many fans and analysts accused Canelo of deliberately avoiding him, claiming he never wanted to risk his belts against a younger, bigger, and highly dangerous opponent. Now, with Alvarez dethroned by Crawford and lacking a clear direction, the path to Benavidez might finally be opening.
Call for David Benavidez once this fight is done. Is that a fight that you can see happening before the end of your career?
Look, I never say no to anything. We'll see later. But I'm focused 100% on this fight.
Benavidez, who once campaigned at super middleweight and has since moved up to light heavyweight, is widely regarded as one of the most avoided fighters in the sport. Known for his relentless style, size, and knockout power, he brings an aura that excites fans but makes opponents think twice. Crawford, though respectful, pointed out exactly why this matchup doesn't interest him, standing over 6 feet tall and capable of rehydrating to nearly 200 pounds on fight night. Benavidez is a massive physical challenge. Crawford even joked that fighting someone like that would be no different than jumping all the way up to heavyweight.
Would you ever entertain a fight with David Benavidez?
You gotta understand.
I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know?
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. His brother was big when I fought him. The only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something. Then he gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude.
And he's skilled.
I might as well go to heavyweight. heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
Yeah, I understand what you're looking at. You're like, you know what?
You just size them up.
Yeah.
You just size them up, especially when you're going into a bigger weight class like that. You size them up and you see your advantages.
It's not that Crawford has never entertained big names. His pursuit of Canelo Alvarez was proof that he isn't afraid of challenges. The difference is that Canelo, despite being stocky and strong, is not viewed as an overwhelming physical presence. Benavidez, however, is built differently. And while Crawford has already made history by moving through multiple divisions, he seems to recognize that there is a limit to how far up the ladder he can climb while still being competitive.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. Dude. The reason why he went up because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do, bro.
Interestingly, Turki Al-Sheikh, who has quickly become one of the most influential figures in global boxing, threw fuel onto the fire by posting about whether Benavidez could still make the 168-pound limit. Al-Sheikh has made it known that he wants to see Crawford in more super fights, and he clearly views a showdown with Benavidez as one of the most exciting possibilities. After all, it would pit the man Canelo never fought against the man who just dethroned Canelo. From a marketing standpoint, it would be a dream matchup.
David, do you think Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo?
Nah, I wouldn't fight Crawford. I'm at 175.
But Crawford's team has already dismissed the idea. McIntyre bluntly said that they are not doing that fight. For him and his fighter, it's not about ducking anyone. It's about being realistic. Crawford has just come off a grueling camp and historic win. There is no rush to chase another massive challenge, especially against someone with such a size advantage. The belts will remain with Crawford for now, and the plan is to simply wait, rest, and reassess. While Crawford's side is shutting down the talk, Benavidez himself remains one of the biggest winners from the recent events. Alvarez's loss to Crawford might finally free up the opportunity he has been chasing for years. Even though Alvarez no longer has belts, he remains a pay-per-view star and one of the sport's most bankable names. Benavidez has a loyal following, but he still hasn't crossed into mainstream superstardom.
Man, you know what? If you're gonna be fans, you're gonna just be fans. You're gonna ride with him if you win or lose. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he'll be back. He's still young. He's 35 years old. He still got at least 4 or 5 good more fights in him. Where, you know, he's rich as fuck. He's generational wealth. So just ride with him. Yeah. Ride with him to the sunset.
So.
Still a need for Benavidez.
Canelo.
Turkey dropped.
You know, people are talking about it.
Turkey hinted at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey.
did.
So
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No, we ain't doing that fight.
Maybe planning on vacating the belts.
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. You know, we just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our thing.
Anis,
and he don't want none.
154, nah.
The business side of boxing almost demands that Alvarez and Benavidez face off at some point. Alvarez, after losing his titles, faces an unusual reality. For the first time since 2015, he is no longer a champion. For a fighter whose identity has been tied to belts for over a decade, this moment is significant. Without a title, Alvarez is like a predator without its stripes. Still dangerous, but missing the aura that defined his reign. A fight with Benavidez offers him the chance to reclaim that sense of championship importance.
All right, man, this is from me. All right, man, this is from the war room, not from me. All right, so don't kick my ass. The question is, why he ducked the fight against Canelo at 168 while it was mandated by the WBC?
So there was no interest of Canelo fighting me, even though I was mandated. I think they made it extremely clear that Canelo said that I didn't fight nobody. I had no value to fight him. So like I said, I wasn't gonna sit around and be at 168 if I wasn't gonna get guaranteed a shot. They mandated me, but that, you know, Canelo, as he showed, he does whatever he wants. Canelo was never interested in that fight. So that's why we didn't get the fight.
Of course, Alvarez still has other options. He could seek a rematch with Crawford, but the first fight was not competitive, and interest among fans was lukewarm. People may watch a second meeting, but it would feel more like an obligation than a true mega event. Alvarez could also pursue fights with names like William Skull or Edgar Berlanga, but those matchups would do little for his legacy at this stage. Moving up once again might be his best path, and if so, Benavidez is the obvious candidate. As for Crawford, other possibilities are beginning to emerge too. One particularly intriguing option is Virgil Ortiz Jr., the undefeated WBC interim super welterweight champion. Ortiz, just 26 years old, boasts a staggering knockout ratio of over 90%, having stopped 21 of his 23 opponents. Recently, he expressed a willingness to move up to middleweight for a chance to fight Crawford. Ortiz sees himself as a naturally big fighter who has already outgrown previous divisions, and he believes a showdown with Crawford at 160 pounds would be both realistic and exciting.
I don't know what he's gonna do. I did read something that said he'll go down to 160, you know, and I think that is definitely a possibility, and you know that fight can still happen at 160. And as far as what he's gonna do now, I mean, I don't know. He kind of beat the final boss of the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kind of nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, I mean, what else do you got to do? He's a 3-time undisputed champion. He made some good money. At this point, he's just a free player right now, I guess. He can do whatever he wants. But yeah, I mean, if the fight comes up, the opportunity comes up, I would love that fight.
The truth is, Crawford has earned the luxury of time. At 37 years old, he has nothing left to prove. Whether he fights once more, twice more, or even 3 more times, his legacy is already cemented. Every decision he makes now is about maximizing both his satisfaction and financial reward. Fans may clamor for certain matchups, but ultimately, Crawford has the power to call the shots. The sport thrives on dream fights and fantasy matchups, and Crawford versus Benavidez is certainly one of those. But sometimes the realities of size, timing, and practicality outweigh the excitement. For now, Crawford is the king of the super middleweight division, enjoying a hard-earned victory and contemplating what's next.